Boom. Agents.
Hello.
I sense an anomaly.
Oh no.
Yeah.
This would be some really cool moment.
And his name is Grouchy Pants.
His name is
Grouchy Pants PJ. I see. I even like in the stream it says PJ Pants.
I've changed it. So
PJ.
now it's just Grouchy Pants. Sticking on it. We're on brand.
Let me know when we're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Oh my god.
Oh.
And you didn't get the sunglasses memo?
I know. What's going on here? We'll fix it in post.
I'm working.
Fix it in
I
post.
still have to work.
Oh my god, yes. It's just that meme where the
think we can do
sunglasses
that.
come
It's
across and it's like
live.
thug life. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Someone create that gif. Grace, I'm counting on you.
I'm counting
Please.
on you. Do it.
I'm almost done my work. Hold on.
You're almost done. Do you want us to wait?
Oh,
on
would you like
PJ?
us to chill?
How much time
Okay,
do you
we'll
need?
just-
yeah.
I mean, we'll just, everybody just.
I'm working on it. I'm almost
Let's put
done
PJ Pants
here.
back up.
I'm
That's
almost
funny.
done.
Any day now. Dude, we are talking about The Matrix. I am super stoked right now. I don't know. Are you guys fans? I'm a big fan. Of The
I've never
Matrix.
heard of it.
Never heard of it. Okay.
The
I
what?
just dress like this for me. This is how Irish people dress at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday.
There we
I was
go.
on my way.
All
to-
right. Welcome to the Matrix, everybody. How are we doing today?
Yeah, it's
Hey,
great.
how come you guys are all wearing glasses?
It's like
Literally,
like
I came
it's
on.
like you're in another program. It's like the program has failed us, and
Yes.
his name is
There's
PJ.
There's a glitch in the Matrix here. There is a glitch.
There is
in the
clearly,
Matrix.
yeah, and it's like I'm having deja vu. Clearly, I'm in the Matrix.
Whoa.
This happens every time we go live.
Yeah, this is weird. I'm having deja vu too.
Yeah. The
And we see a black cat. No, my cat
it
has
took
got
everything in
No.
my power. So we watched this trailer on Get Good on Sunday with Liam and Todd. It took everything in my power not to just like blurt everything I wanted to say out. I wanted to save a little bit of like my giddiness here and for trailer talk, because there's a lot. This trailer that they dropped on Thursday last week, there's a lot they kind of. I don't know if it's misdirection, but there's a lot going on here. Like there's a lot that they give, and there's a lot of questions
Yes!
that.
Yeah.
Although, how
Yes.
come you look a bit like one of the Blues Brothers or something? Do you know what I mean? With
He
the, with the
does.
sexy
He do
glasses
look like a
and
blues
shit?
brother.
Yeah,
Agent.
I know.
Agent Grouchy Pants.
PJ, don't. We'll need some wet floor signs.
Yeah.
All right.
I could just see
what are we talking
PJ doing
about
kung
today?
fu and look. Kung fu.
It's not even Tai Chi.
Yeah,
It's just
I'm
like,
doing
oh
kung fu.
god, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Although
the
PJ
Matrix.
PJ does move in bullet time all the time.
Fair.
Yeah.
The Matrix, that was one of the first movies that I went to movie theater and didn't had low expectations, and that movie frickin' blew my mind.
Yeah.
I love that
It's
movie.
a
The
good
first
film.
one, I loved it. I loved it. I
Well,
love
I
that
don't.
movie.
I don't think anybody had expectations. Like that movie just came out of nowhere. Like that doesn't happen anymore. Like it's very
True.
rare that something drops and just blows the industry open in a way like I don't know. It's like Star Wars did that. And that's
Yeah.
it. It's like The Matrix and Star Wars, or the two films that sort of like dropped and just exploded.
Yeah.
Like just from not only culturally but like changed the film industry. Like the bullet time became a thing. And the way they shoot with those.
Jumping with the wires.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
became
well,
a
the-
thing in
well,
that
the wire
movie.
work-
Well, Crouching Tiger,
Yeah.
Hidden Dragon thing
Yeah,
started
yeah,
there, but
like-
they used it for the
Yeah.
fighting, and that became a thing.
Yeah.
And Keanu didn't even want to be in the movie, and they gave him, I don't know if he didn't want to be in it, but in order to get him into it, they gave him a back end of the movie. And that was the day of DVDs. And he came out one night to a party, and I was still, to this story, I'm still a little bit like, why would you get a check in that amount? But he had a check to the tune of $10 million for his first DVD payment.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
What?
Why is
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine? I was like, why would you get a check? Is that real?
I mean,
Versus like wire it to my offshore account instead.
Back in my
Send
wild
it to my
days.
account in the Bahamas, please.
Back in my
You
wild
just
days,
want
I used,
a briefcase full of cash.
Right?
yeah.
Honestly. So
Yeah,
then I
I'll
can
just
be
say
like, look what I
cash.
just made.
Are you sure? I could just
Yeah.
write you a check. It's
Coins.
pretty convenient.
Just
No,
yeah,
cash
bring
is
the
fine.
dump truck
Thank you.
and just
Pennies.
just dump the just all in dollar bills, please, and just dump all
Yeah.
the $10 million in dollar bills in my backyard, please.
Yeah. What do you need it for? Strip clubs and shit. I don't know.
I just want to
I
swim
need it in
in
singles.
money.
You know.
That's why I want to Scrooge McDuck my way through $10 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's been how long is it? It's been 18 years since Matrix Revolutions.
Wow.
So it's been 18
really?
years since the last Matrix film. Obviously, there was the video game Matrix Online, and so that kind of continued that story for a little bit online. But it's been since 18 years since we've seen it on the big screen. It's coming out this December. They just dropped this new trailer. It's got so much in it. It doesn't really tell us anything, but it tells us so much. It's kind of one of those amazing trailers. It's actually it's a great trailer. So why don't we jump into it and then
haven't
break
seen
this
anything.
thing.
I am going to
so
take my
excited.
sunglasses off for this
Yeah,
bit so
I'm
that you
gonna
can
take
actually
this
see us
part.
react.
Yeah, that's a good point. I can't see anything actually.
Sweating.
You can all see us
Oh
react
my
now.
gosh, so bright.
It is actually much brighter when you take off the sunglasses. That's weird. Huh. Who knew that's what they did. I'm just gonna adjust PJ's frame.
I'm ready.
There it is. All right, I'll press play on the trailer in 3, 2, 1, play.
Now, can you tell me what happened?
San Francisco.
Yeah.
Thomas? You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Dreams.
I feel like Neil Patrick Harris makes a great therapist.
Dude, there's a lot in that little flash.
What the frick?
In those flashes.
We don't use that word in
Oh,
here.
look at them blue
I
glasses,
like
though.
Neil Patrick Harris.
Them blue glasses, though. Oh, the green tint. But it's not here anymore. Oh,
No,
no green tint.
the rubber duck on his head is such a
I
mood.
love that. It's
I love
better.
it.
Trendy.
That little sound when they touch hands.
The little like chimey sound.
And the choice of music is so on the nose,
How
but
good.
it's just so good.
How good is that?
Yeah, dude, stop taking the blue pill. Boom.
That's nice.
Wait, was that?
Oh, is that Priyanka Chopra?
Time to fly.
Time to fly. Very Morpheus.
Just
I
one.
want the truth, Nia. You're going to have to fly me.
Oh, that's cool.
So they can travel through mirrors
Thing
now?
that matters to you
What's
is
going
still
on?
here. I know it's why you're still fighting and why you will never give up.
Dude,
You
of
know
course you
you
have
don't.
a badass dojo fight scene. It's not the Matrix. Dojo fight scene.
What is this? Are we just recreating the first? What's happening here? Wait, what the fuck? It's Christmas?
It's not a
So it's
Christmas.
a Christmas movie.
This is gonna be a Christmas
No, it's
movie?
not Christmas. No. There's no snow.
It said this Christmas. It didn't say December.
Yes. Oh my god. The action in this is gonna be awesome. I can tell.
What the fuck? Did you see that?
Oh man.
What is happening?
Oh, Trinity's like orbing out of herself, out of her body. Oh, dude, the wall run
That's cool. That's very
and
Inception.
the flip.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh wow. Oh, blue time.
bullets.
Oh, he's like straight up Harry Potter now, huh? He can
After all
just
these
fly and
years.
shit.
To be going back to where it all
Leap of
started.
faith.
Hey,
Back to the Matrix.
A douchey looking guy.
Hey, I like Jonathan Groff. He's great.
I love Jonathan Groff.
The Matrix. All right, who can decode the code?
God, I can't wait to see that.
12, 22, 21. So that's backwards for me. So it's
That looks
20,
awesome.
22nd of December? 3 days before Christmas?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I
Yeah,
love
I'm
that. I
doing
love
Christmas
the
Day.
fucking symmetry of that date, though. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
It's mirrored.
2121.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's on. It's going to be in theaters and HBO Max on the same day. Thank God. So we can all nerd out together. if you're not even
gonna be what?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're gonna
on
go
HBO.
for sure.
Oh, I got to see that in the movie theater.
Gotta go to
There's
the
no
movie
way.
theater.
I gotta go to the movie theater for that. If
that's
anything,
yeah.
I gotta go to the movie theater for that.
Yeah.
A big ass movie theater. Drew, is it IMAX time? It's IMAX time.
Do we go back and actually break this down scene by scene? Because I feel like we need to. This is just...
It will take a long time.
What
man.
the
I gotta go get a haircut.
These episodes last between like 25 and 45 minutes. I feel like you'll have the time. Looks interesting, like a soft reboot. Yeah, potentially Philly Jackson. The blue glasses though, huh? The blue glasses on Neil Patrick Harris, and then the red frames on Priyanka Chopra. I didn't actually check the cast. I presume that's her. She's very.
I thought that was her.
Yeah.
She had different hair, but
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's Priyanka Chopra Jones.
Oh, great.
Because she's now married to.
Of course, yeah,
Nick
to Nick
Jonas.
Jonas. Sorry.
And so she, I'm gonna jump right into like.
Let's go. Okay, let's go.
Just quick reaction. Just quick reactions. Like this trailer is very well done. The music choice is on point. They even manipulate the music audio to kind of help like show distortion when they kind of moving through elements, which is really clever. There's like clever use of sound design. The pacing it does a very good job as a teaser just to kind of give us like it answers a lot of questions right away. How is Neo alive? How is Trinity alive? Like who's this new character, like this Morpheus type character? Showcases us like several people that we don't know who they are and how they're relevant, but then it gives us like the action pieces that we know and love of the Matrix, and then it just leaves us wanting more, which is exactly what you want from a Matrix trailer. So I think this trailer was they spent time and they thought about what to show exactly. Even like if you're a nerd and like me and you went through this like frame by frame, there's like flashes of stuff here in this trailer that go by in like a millisecond, that if you're not doing that, you're gonna see you're gonna find out more information by just doing that. So it's designed for us to kind of dissect. Like this trailer was designed for this reason. Yeah. What did you guys think?
How did Trinity and Neo die? We're not talking about the animated ones, right? We're in the storyline of the first three. What happened at the end of the third one?
Well, the animated is canon, and technically so.
Oh, it is.
The games. Yeah, the video games are technically canon. Yeah.
So when did they die?
At the end of the third movie, Neo sacrifices himself to Mr. Anderson. Like he kind of like Mr. Anderson takes over his code and he explodes. And by doing that, the mainframe, Deus Ex Machina, could then delete the program. Because right. Mr. Anderson was going to take over, destroy everything.
Yeah.
And so his deal was, as long as you let people have the choice to leave the Matrix. Yeah. So that looks to have been not kept up, or there's something else going on.
Yeah. Well, is it though? Because I mean, that was the deal, right? The deal was that like they should have a choice whether or not to be enslaved, and now we're entering a new reboot of the Matrix as they know it, I guess. But then this blue pill thing. What if everybody is given that choice and then they're just continuously flooded with these blue pills, or maybe they've just taken a way around that. Also, like, I don't know
if I want to think about it too much.
Let's think of it this way, right? Your choice to like stay locked in or to come out, and then what if the Matrix has actually manipulated that through social media? Because you know where he's in the elevator and they're all like hooked onto their phones because they're plugged in all the time, and that's their way of like keeping everybody plugged in.
I think it's going to be an alternate reality or alternate universe type scenario where these have been just being made everywhere. Like this is one battery case of a million, and that's why Lawrence Fishburne isn't Morpheus and why different people are not. But then how is Trinity in there? I don't know. They weren't even going to do the fourth. You know that he did Lana Wachowski got the idea for 4 when her folks died, and then her friend died, and she had all this death and grieving, and that's where the idea came from.
I think you've kind of hit something on the head that I wanted to sort of like discuss a little bit was potentially
don't try
that
to copy me.
potentially that Trinity
Your own
isn't
fucking
real.
ideas.
But at the same time, you see
And
her
you know
being...
why? Did you see the green in her face on that one shot?
Okay, but I do think that that's like part of like the construct almost, like when they're trying to prove to Neo yet again that there's a Matrix, like this is almost like this reiteration, and that the actor playing Morpheus's character is not just a younger iteration of Morpheus. It is still that Morpheus character. I think he confirmed that on social media. But Trinity, I do think like there are parts of that trailer that she's not real, and there's parts of that trailer where she does exist, because she didn't die. She was just rebooted into the Matrix, and she could potentially be an anomaly or a part of Neo, like connected somehow, because they're like supposed to be connected. So I feel like maybe that she's just a part of him somehow, somewhere, and that they both will always find each other. The same way this kind of, it's gonna sound really fucking stupid now, stay with me. Like, is it Hitchcock or something? What was that film with Will Smith and Charlize Theron? Where he's a superhero and they always find each other no matter where they are in the world.
Hancock.
That film, like, it's kind of like that. This sort of premise that no matter how many iterations of this Matrix there is, these two will always find each other, and there will be some sort of anomaly, the one to change it all.
Yeah, and although Wayne just posted, and he's absolutely right. Trinity did die. She was killed in the ship when it crashed.
Oh, you're right.
So
you're right.
So both of those characters, technically, the way the movie resolved is that they were dead, right? Yeah. It's obviously it's sort of left Neo's to kind of be interpreted, but Trinity basically is dead. So and then we see her in the trailer hooked up like in the goo and hooked up to some sort of machine being raised. So there's obviously some sort of resurrection, no pun intended here for this trailer. You know, they're clearly that the robots have an ability to do something here to bring them back, or have a reason to bring them back to life. Something's wrong, right? And the machines need them. Maybe could be. You know, so to bring them back, because why bring them back? You know, because obviously they could just recode another anomaly like Neo to recirculate that whole program. This idea, like the architect in the second movie was saying, like you're just another one of these iterations. We have to create you in order to. And we destroy Zion over. Yeah, we destroy Zion over and over and over again. This is just something that happens. It's something that has to happen in order for us to reboot the Matrix, and which is what they did at the end of the movie. They ended up like kind of rebooting the Matrix. Yeah, so it's crazy. I don't know. It'll be interesting how they answer these questions.
We better do it well.
I'm sure they'll stick the landing.
Because I wasn't a fan of the second and third movies as much as I loved the first one. I loved the first one so much. Yeah, the first one is just incredible. It's definitely my favorite. I think Reloaded is probably like a fan favorite. I think Reloaded seems to have been a big favorite among like hardcore fans and stuff. But I think you'll never get the same effect as the first movie. Because the first movie did it was just so out there. What was the one with the big underground orgy dancing stuff? Which one was that one?
Reloaded. It was the second one.
Yeah.
People like that one the best?
Yeah.
Reloaded.
It's Chateau, really, isn't it? It's like the Merovingian. Yeah. Now I do think that he's going to be back.
And the Merovingian's back.
Pagan's not going to let you talk, Drew. This is her shit.
No. They're not. Go big.
This is her jam.
Let's talk about who.
We just need to sit and listen to Pagan.
No.
Let's talk about real quick who is back and who's not back. So,
okay, let's go.
Keanu's back as Neo. Carrie Ann Moss is back as Trinity. You have Jada Pinkett Smith is confirmed to be back. So, and she played. Gosh, I'm missing her name now.
A character.
She Naomi.
Naomi, thank you.
Yeah.
Which was Lawrence Fishburne.
Niobe.
Niobe, thank you. And which she had a connection. I don't know if they were married at some point or not, but they were together.
With Morpheus.
Or she was married to the head guy as well, the leader of Zion. And then Lambert Wilson is back as a Merovingian, and Daniel Bernhardt is back as Agent Johnson. So those are the people that we know are confirmed from like the previous movies confirmed. Then you have like new characters like Neil Patrick Harris, Christina Ricci's back or is in this. Then you have like the new Morpheus, Yahya Abdul Mateen, if I'm saying that right. I might have butchered that, and apologies. Jessica Henwick is playing a new character called Bugs, who you see like doing all the badass like
the
work
blue
in
hair.
this trailer. Yeah. She's
So-
you might have. She was in Iron Fist, and she was in
didn't know.
Game of Thrones, Love and Monsters.
Ah,
And then there's Priyanka Chopra,
Chopra.
who you mentioned, and there's a lot of people are thinking she's the Oracle, or there's a theory out there that she might be Sati, who, if you remember and
She
Reloaded,
could be both.
she could be both.
She could be
She
both.
was like a program created without purpose who got like smuggled into the Matrix, and like the Oracle kind of took her under her wing. So
yeah.
she could be very powerful or have like purpose here to kind of be the Oracle in this film.
Yeah, and that would
So
explain
there's
the green tint, right? That would explain the green tint. That's because in the end of the third movie, obviously, the Sati like created the sun or the sky, I guess, the sky for Neo, and that's why
Yeah.
there's no green tint now. But there's definitely some green tint in this trailer, in
Yeah.
parts of it. So there must like be
Right.
parts that are still in the old world / new world. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, like this could be a new Matrix or a new
Mm.
program. Neo and Trinity could be in like a sub program or another program, and then Morpheus and has to hack, and people have to hack to bring them out and bring them back into the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Who know? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the theories are abound. Like there could be multiple Matrix versions of the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a computer program, so what's to say they can't run 500 different Sim cities or
True.
versions of Sims?
Yes.
It's like
yeah.
so
Yeah.
we don't know. So the one we remember from the movies obviously had that you knew you're in the Matrix because of the green tint, and you were able to manipulate the program if you were capable,
Yeah.
like
If
Neo
you could
was.
hack the
But,
code, basically.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's very fascinating. There's also a shot, like if you still frame, there's a shot of like two pods, like kind of in this red room, like red, like it looks like they're in the real world, and that's probably Neo and Trinity, like they're being resurrected in those pods, because there's another shot of him, Neo, laying in the water in the goo, and his eyes are burnt. So this is clearly that's clearly the Neo from
Yeah.
the movie because he lost
This is the
his
man that
sight.
watches trailers frame by frame.
Is this
Frame
it?
by
Hold on. Is this it here? This
My-
like this section where there's two pods?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually, yeah.
My-
Wow.
It's right at the beginning when they do like a bunch of flashes. So
It's
you'll
like
see,
isolated,
uh,
and then he wakes up.
mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the next shot is him, like shows him in the goo, and they're like working on him, like the robot.
This is
the
too
spider.
much
That's got
fucking
his nerd engine
analyzing.
right
It's
there.
too much.
Sorry, I just saw the
Let's get
saw the
bigger.
frame.
Why do we
There's
like a
so
movie
good.
like this? Like, what is it about a movie like this that we like so much? Like that, this trailer has got us so turned on. Why? Why?
Well,
Is
I
it just
Keanu
good
Reeves.
characters, good writing?
Keanu Reeves?
Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
is
love
there a
Keanu.
delay?
Case and point.
I have
argument.
lots of
Thank you,
Keanu
Steph.
stories.
Is
Yeah,
there a delay?
Do you really?
Uh huh. I have Neil Patrick Harris stories too.
Ooh.
Do you
I
really?
know. Those are maybe
still
not.
has
Maybe
it.
Yeah,
not.
I met Keanu.
Might
I
not be
met
ready for
Keanu many times. Did lots of illegal things many times. And every time I'd be like, "Hey, buddy, good to see you." He goes, "Hi, nice to meet you, Keanu." And one of the last times we were out back at some bar somewhere, and I said to him, "Buddy, your mom was at my house for Thanksgiving. Why do you keep pretending like you never met me?" "Oh, sorry, dude. Oh, I must forgot."
Shame. He probably does forget.
I left no impression on that man. No impression on that man.
Aw, I'm sorry.
You didn't send him. You didn't give him a check for $10 million. That's why.
That's probably
No,
right.
I know.
He would have remembered you
I
then.
know.
I think
Yeah.
part of the reason why everyone's so turned on about this like Matrix 4 is probably because it's almost a cult classic now, right? The Matrix, the original, because it did something different. It kind of changed a lot of things. It created a big hype around it, and then there's a second and third one. Some people liked them, some people didn't. And now 18 years later, there's something to reboot this or to bring this back. People are excited, and I think people who weren't even around for the first three will be very excited about this because of the cult like following, because of this massive fan club following that's like, is Neo the one or isn't he? His name is an anagram of one, but is he? I don't know. Like, it's just, I think there's this whole like whole
I
following.
never even knew Neo spelt the one. I
Oh
didn't
my
even
God.
know that. Wow, mind blown. Damn it.
I know.
I think
My name spell PJ.
JP. Oh my god.
Grouchy pants.
Same
Grouchy pants.
effect.
Yeah.
Effect. But I think that
I agree
maybe
with Matthew.
answers one of that. What's that? The second and third films are stupid. Well,
I
that's
disagree.
That's
No,
your opinion, for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
I wasn't a big fan of the
the
third
end
one.
of the third one. The end of the third one was interesting. That got
Mm.
the end, but they never got to the wonderment of the first movie. They never got to the
Agreed.
level of oh my godness in the first one. Now maybe it was just too hard to reach.
I think it's too hard to reach that sometimes. Once you've made a movie, I think
Yeah.
to get back to that power, it's like we were talking about James Bond and like what Sean Connery brought to those films.
Mhm.
Like you're never gonna get what Sean
So,
Connery
but think about
did.
it. If you do Matrix 1, how do you accept underground orgies where everybody looks like they're like on the set of Survivor? Like, how do you go from such great stuff to that
Yeah.
line? Like, come on.
You're celebrating
It's
life.
expanding the universe.
I appreciate
film
the
universe.
big swings that they took, and that's what I like about the Wachowski films prior. Like even Speed Racer, I enjoy a lot of their films. Like even Cloud Atlas, like they take big swings and. They don't always land. Not every piece of that of what they're trying to do is perfect, but it's just interesting, and you have to applaud their ability to say like, I'm going to try something. I think it works. It's my world. I'm going to do whatever I want, and have the ability for somebody to have that I don't know, bravado to sort of do that, right? A lot of people I think would have backed off and been like, yeah, no, orgies are weird. Don't do that. Where they're like, hey,
On an
orgies are
underground
kind of
orgy
cool.
cave dance
Yeah.
rave is
Dance
taking a
rave.
They
swing.
kind of
Listen,
have
if
to
you
like
were- if-
repopulate
Come
the earth.
but yeah, think about it. Yeah, right. But think
They're
about it. If
tasked
you
with a
live in
big job.
It's a needed thing.
underground
Yeah.
in a dystopian world where humanity is like being eradicated, you're gonna have a big orgy every now and then just to like blow some steam. I
Yeah.
think. You know,
Yeah.
Like
like
fucking on the street corners, you're not going to need an underground cave. You don't care.
there's
Every
no
Monday
street.
of
There's
every
no
Don't you
street. They
live in
literally
LA?
live in caves.
It's like if
There
that
you
what's
go.
that joke? The guy's like, I'm on an airplane, the plane is going down. I'm gonna have sex with somebody, and then the 7-year-old lady, makes it through. It's just like, oof.
Yeesh.
And we landed okay. Oh,
Oh well.
Sorry, everybody, just a little turbulence.
yeah.
I think
Oh,
I
lovely.
think going back to like what we were talking about, I feel like you kind of have to look at each movie through its own lens and kind of like separate it from like that first one. So just kind of think of it each as like a singular movie. Yes, it's all part of like the same universe and stuff like that. But I feel like because it's like I was thinking about like the Mummy movies this morning, and it's like the first two, and then you get the third one, and it's like a whole new actress. So then you're kind of like it's an adjustment. So it's like it's not the same, but it is. So I think going like this too, like even if it is like Morpheus, I guess like I'm gathering that it is, but it's
Oh, it's
new.
Morpheus.
It's
Yeah.
it's Morpheus, but it's not because it's it's not the Morpheus you've known and seen. So I think that too can be like jaunting or
Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, I think visually this movie looks really cool. So
So here's a question for you. So 20 years, right? 1999, over 20 years. You saw that when you were 16. You're 36 now. Maybe you got a kid that's 10, 11, or maybe. Do you make the kid watch all three before you let him see the fourth?
Oh,
or
heck
do you have
totally.
to go?
Yeah. You sit. You
And
sit.
that's
You sit
sometimes
that
the
kid
problem. Because
down
I've
and be
done that
like,
with the girls. I've done with the girls,
gotta-
and you go back and they're like the movies are too old for them to, they're out of that TikTok phase where they, they got to capture them every 15 seconds, and they're like, this movie's too
Yeah.
boring.
That's hard though. You just sit them down and be like, listen, you watch this and you may not enjoy this now, but you'll enjoy it. Enjoy it for me, right? And
Strap him to
then
the
when the new
chair.
one
Just don't
comes
give
out,
away toys.
exactly,
I'm
yeah,
down.
and then when the new one
Yeah.
comes out, they can now then at least have the appreciation of where it came from.
It's hard. Skylar's
Yeah.
into this. Skylar's into his TV show where they're like, they solve serial killers or something. I'm like, yeah, this is just Silence of the Lambs. And she's like, what's that? I go, well, that's a good movie. Like, that's really good
Yeah.
to watch. And then so I go watch it, and she's like, oh, this is boring. I don't want to watch this.
I think like the good thing with like film schools is like you had to watch like a lot of like older movies. But like
Yeah.
my mom and I at home, we would watch like Turner Classic Movies together. So we always sat down and watched old movies. And now I have more of like an appreciation. Like we watched the Andy Griffith Show when I was little. Like all these like older shows, like we've always watched them. Cartoons, like a lot of the cartoons that we grew up watching sometimes, like Looney Tunes or any of like the old Hanna-Barbera. I mean, that stuff is old. So I think it carries. I think, yeah, today's generation, I think they have a harder time watching older stuff because it's so different. And then also like the whole
Pacing is
criticizing of like, you know, like what's going on in the time in that movie or like just certain things. Like that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
With the Matrix, like in this new one, I feel like you have to watch it because if you're just going in blind because like the cult following and everybody's watching it, everybody's talking about it, so you're like, okay, let's see what it is. You're not gonna really understand what's going on, especially if there's lots of like Easter eggs or moments like even where like the movie starts, like it could start where you left off or like whatever it may be, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, what's going on?
100%. This is clearly going to answer questions that the other movies left, you know, unanswered or continue that story. So I don't, and that may be an issue. Like if you weren't a fan of the last two movies, are you going to be a fan of where this movie takes? Because it's clearly taking those two movies into consideration. Like, obviously. So you either have to be a fan and willing to buy in to that those other movies exist in the universe and that it's going to continue that story, and if you want to continue on the rabbit hole and take the red pill, you gotta dive all into the Matrix universe. So yeah, that'll be interesting.
There was no orgy cave dancing though, so this one might be better. I didn't see any of that.
It's only a trailer.
Not yet.
I mean, I fully
don't
expect
know.
there to be at least
That's
one
why
orgy
they kept
in this
it out of
trilogy.
the trailer. Well, as long as they don't have, I'd rather have. What was that one scene with in that one room with was that Italian actress that was in number 2? That was where
Monica
you have the orgy.
Bellucci.
Yeah, that's where you have the orgy. You don't have it down in the caves and the mud and the dirt and shit.
Yeah, but
with the
the
people
world,
in the nice black dresses and champagne and
we don't have
cocaine
orgies
going
in the
around, and
world.
that's where you
Champagne
have
and
them.
You have
shit.
to have them in caves.
Yes.
Wayne has stuff he wants to
Yes,
discuss.
Wayne.
Let's bring in Wayne
here
to see
for
if
it.
if he's gonna convince PJ that orgies are good.
But did he bring
for
sunglasses?
I never said
Yes.
orgies were
The
bad.
benefits of orgies and their origin.
For someone who likes orgies, you don't like orgies in the Matrix.
Yeah, he brought sunglasses! Oh, heck yeah!
Glasses on.
I
Well
can't see
done.
shit, so I'm putting these back on. So.
It's alright. For the effect that you had, it was fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, there we go.
Thanks, friend.
Boom.
But yeah, I mean,
can't
I
hear
could.
Wayne.
I'm
Can
pretty
you
much.
guys hear him?
Yeah, I can very much wax lyrical about all the ins and outs of what. Like, I don't know about the orgies, PJ. You know, I don't know, but he's gone. He's done.
He's
But
out. Take care.
he's out. But with regards to like the kind of the theories, it starts way back with the
weird.
original
I
Matrix
can't hear
because the
Wayne.
whole thing of Neo not even being the one at all.
Oh, I can hear him.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So like it's
Yeah, it must be just me.
so it's just a thing of like of Neo not even being the one. Like there's a whole theory of Agent Smith actually being the
Being
one
the one, yeah, I know.
because it's like it's the whole thing about the one is he's meant to have been created within the Matrix,
That's right.
which is what Agent Smith was. Neo wasn't. Neo was a human. But
Yeah.
the whole thing about this as well is that, and it's all about the original thing that it's based on, the simulation and simulacra, which is the kind of philosophy
The
book that the
book.
whole Matrix thing is built on. It's about rebirth and different symbols of the same thing over and over again, and about repetitiveness and kind of things coming back in. And I don't know who alluded to it, but the architect talks about there's already been 6 versions of the Matrix before this.
Yeah.
And you are like, you know, Neo was brought in Neo was brought in as the next anomaly to kind of reset everything, and that's his job.
Right.
And it's only when him and Agent Smith join together as one thing does the Matrix reset. So they're like
This
the
should
yin
be a
and yang.
college course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Should be a
there is
college
like it's a
course.
full
There
on.
actually
there
is a
could be a
college
test
test on
are.
the Matrix, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a test?
Yeah.
It's studied in philosophy.
Why did, that seems to always happen when I come out the trailer. Did I get charged with people asking if there's going to be a test? It happened on the Green Knight, and now it's happening on this one.
Totally.
Look,
It's the
take
way you
notes.
deliver it in that, in that low that low steady voice,
Yeah.
I kind of like, ooh, I should pay attention. I'm gonna get a quiz or something on this.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing about this trailer that is so interesting, and even the teaser that was before this, the fantastic way they teased this trailer with the Red Pill and Blue Pill website that you went onto and saw two different versions of this trailer going into it that had even more one shots of what was coming that you had to go through. There was over 180,000 iterations of the teaser to show you different sections of this film.
Oh, that's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm very stoked for this movie. If you haven't guessed already, shocking.
Yeah, I am too.
Shocking.
But I think why, PJ, you were saying why are people interested in this? It is the kind of all these questions that need to be answered. It's that curiosity that people have about the Matrix. And what that was the original thing. What is the Matrix? That was the original teaser poster.
The first movie did that better to me, where it was into what the Matrix was, and it wasn't until he was at the end again with that guy, the architect or whatever he was. Then you really got into those metaphysical questions that I just loved. I mean, the second one, remember there was all that orgy dancing in the caves, or we talked about that already, but
we mentioned it briefly.
Yeah, but that's what it could be
night.
and what life could be. That's what I enjoyed most with the Matrix. Like, is it an answer of something else? It's just like somebody's waiting for the spaceship to land to prove that there's aliens here. I'm waiting for that day. It's like I want to know. Like, is this different? What it's that why are we all here question, right? Well, we're here to be batteries.
Yeah, it's like it's almost Truman Show-esque, like it's definitely gonna appeal to the people who are like, there's something else out there. They're watching us. Like, it's definitely gonna appeal to that like whole big fan base, and that's what it's playing on as well. It's like, but what if? Like, what if it's all a simulation?
Yeah, it's the disenfranchised thing as well. It's those individuals
I
that
think
feel
that's
disenfranchised.
a big part of why everybody loves the Matrix. It's sort of like it makes us second guess ourselves and our purpose. And is there a way to like hack ourselves in a way to make ourselves more better, good looking, more
thinner,
like thinner. Yeah. Or, to be able to fly or dodge bullets, or and it's sort of
or
just
thinner.
that idea where
I don't know. Or like Cypher's character in the first one,
health.
where he's like, I want to be, important and rich, like an actor, and I'm like, it's genius, like because that could play on this. Also, I wanted to briefly mention that I think that's probably going to be in this fourth film, because did you see the projection of Neo on the wall?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. So there's in shots in this trailer there are moments where Neo is looking at himself watching the movie, like it's clearly a shot from the film. How that ties in is Morpheus and trying to have him remember the Matrix by watching the Matrix as a movie in the movie. Like, how meta are we getting here? I don't know.
Wait.
And then
because you just said, is it Morpheus, like that's trying to make him like trigger his memory or something like that? What if it's the Matrix?
Well, clearly.
No,
it could be the Matrix
what if it's the Matrix that is like
it could be very John
Malkovich,
being John Malkovich going inside Neo's head.
Yeah, what if
projecting inside his head?
Well, no, that could be true. But what I was thinking of was more like, what if the Matrix like Deus Ex Machina thing created a movie of Neo's life and made him like fantasize about it, and then actually turn that into pop culture in the Matrix 4. Like, what if he actually made like Enter the Matrix, or something? Do you know what I mean?
The movies
are
propaganda in the movie, in the Matrix.
Yeah. Thomas Anderson played Neo in those films.
It's sort of like the Matrix created the movies, just like the movies exist in our world as propaganda, so that it makes people more subdued, right? It's sort of like, the Matrix isn't real. That's just a show. That's just a movie. That's just a thing.
Like this conversation. I'm with
PJ on this one. I think this is a bit of a stretch.
You're ruining this for me.
Yeah,
That's the dumbest fucking idea I have ever heard.
Yeah.
Why? Because we watch movies based on fantasy, and it makes us more complacent.
That's in the movie. I'm going to be so disappointed.
What if it's more like
that's lazy. That's just a fucking lazy.
It's the Matrix trying to like psychologically trick Neo into thinking that it's not real. It's just fantasy, because he's seen it in pop culture. So when he's like trying to live these things, and he's like, "Oh no, that can't be real. I saw that in a movie once."
Yeah, and then they show him John
And
Wick
we're live.
movies. They show him John Wick movies, and he's like, "Oh, I am a badass."
I don't know whether that's going to be a thing at all, because it's the reason why he's going to the psychiatrist anyway, because he's having these dreams about the Matrix. Maybe it's his dreams that he's having. Maybe he's sitting in a movie theater in his dreams, looking at the scenes. Like you're in when he sees the architect in Reloaded, all of his life is playing out on the TVs around him in Reloaded when he's sitting there with the architect, and the architect is like vis-a-vis, concordedly, so on and so forth. And that's all happening. So you see everything happening, and there's all these different versions of Neo, and he's like flipping the finger and stuff. I just think the whole thing about it is the name of it's key. It's all about resurrection. That's why Morpheus is younger. That's why they're bringing back Trinity and Neo, because they're part of the unit. They have to be there because they fit the code in order to reset something.
Well, if you look at why they did the movie, and Lana had this thing about the remorse of her parents and her friend, and not being able to bring it back. Maybe the whole thing is that Neo had thought that he had this girlfriend, and he in his mind she died, and he's trying to get her back, and he's made up this elaborate fantasy. That's what Neil Patrick Harris' character is telling him. He's in there. He's seeing them for grievance counseling, and then through that grievance, all this starts to come up. Maybe it's that, because that's the movie got made. There's a lot of that on the internet about her dealing with the parents, the death of the parents and the friend. So there's going to be a lot of that thematically in the movie.
Well, and I think going back to like the title, it's resurrection. So what does resurrection mean? I mean, yeah, I think going back to like what we were talking about earlier on, and like them possibly being brought back to life, or whatever this is, like they're just living on through the simulation, or whatever it is, like, I think, if they're being resurrected, they could also die, and then permanently, and then, like, Keanu could die in this, and then you have this new generation kind of moving on.
Oh, interesting.
Into the next movies. Like, like, who's to say that they are going to continue on, and,
I don't know. Now that movie, it makes sense now. I'm even more scared now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the thing is,
well,
like,
and let's...
Oh, sorry.
I just want to say, and just to tie back into what Stephanie was saying, you might be onto something with the death issue, where, because there's some teases here too, where Neo and Trinity might not be who they are. Like when Trinity does, like when she screams and her character sort of like splits out, those faces that you see that are splitting out next to her aren't her face.
I swear I saw Christina
and same in the mirror scene with him.
And
people are saying
when he looks in the
Christina
mirror,
Ricci's
his face, and I don't know if that's a morphication of like him and Mr. Smith.
Looked like Leonardo DiCaprio for a minute.
It did for a split second.
Great Leo's in the movie.
So there could be something where they've taken over that other NPCs' bodies, right? To kind of like how Mr. Smith in the original could like kind of take over people, or the agents, how they take over people, like rewrite the code.
Yes.
I don't know. There could be something there as well.
But it goes back as well to the fact that they say there's already been 6 versions of you already. So maybe it's all of the 6 versions of him. And maybe Trinity was part of it too. And they're all the 6 versions of her. Because when she splits out, how many of them are her?
That's what I'm
And
saying.
when she splits out, are there 6 in that kind of image? Are there 6 of her?
Probably.
Let's see.
You're saying that each version has a new skin? That's a little expensive from game development point of view. I don't know. I probably wanted to.
No, but this is interesting though, because I actually think that when he's looking in the mirror and he sees like an older person, it's definitely not old like Keanu Reeves. It's somebody else. That perhaps this is what he looks like in this iteration to everybody else, but to himself, he looks like Keanu Reeves.
His residual self is what they call it.
He will always look like his residual self to himself, but everyone else will see him as this thing in the mirror. That's just a hypothetical situation. I don't know if that's true, but that's what that kind of looked like to me, was that he could see himself as the real thing, and then when he's not taking the blue pills, he's starting to see what everybody else is seeing, and then he's probably seeing code. Like in that scene when he's walking down the street or whatever, and he's starting to see code on the wall and things like that. I feel like that's him stopping the blue pills. And the green tint will come back.
And the thing with the blue pills as well,
yeah.
the box, the thing of the blue pill says one daily.
I don't
and
know.
You see him
we
dosing
could-
3 of them.
This
Oh, yeah,
trailer,
true.
we-
Sorry, I think there's a delay between Drew's internet, guys.
Oh yeah.
Pagan
a-
here with the hyper crazy
I'm
hypotheticals.
looking at that shot where she has all of her different selves coming
go with
out.
that.
It's like her and an Asian woman. It's
It could be Jennifer. What's her name?
Yeah, and
Jennifer.
there's some shots too where Morpheus is like finding, like he touches the mirror and has, like it looks like there's going to be either a backstory on like why. They're clearly going to explain why Morpheus is either a young Morpheus or like a new version of Morpheus in this instance. So I don't think I'd be hard pressed to say, and I know Lawrence Fishburne is on record saying like they didn't invite me back, but that might be a little bit of misdirection. I do think I think we can expect Lawrence Fishburne to probably either have like a surprise cameo here in this film or in the later films. I'd be hard pressed to think that they would write him out just for no reason, other than there has to be a good reason here, right? And I think they'll explain that.
Lots of money.
Maybe.
lots of money.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I agree. I think that's...
It's a very good motivator in Hollywood.
There's a
Thanks,
lot
EJ,
to
for the
unpack
soup.
in this trailer. Oh my
Oh,
god.
thank you.
Thanks, EJ Pete.
But that is the beauty of this trailer, is that it, like, I think the first trailer, and I've seen in a long time, that creates so much theory and speculation and people losing their shit over what could be.
Yeah.
But I would have the fear of going in with too much high expectation. Like a lot of movies, you go in with very high expectation and they're dashed. I mean, I'm going to go in expecting a Matrix film where there's like kung fu, wire work, all this different shit that we see, everything, the agents, and that's probably what we'll get. I'm not going to expect the be all and end all.
Well, I want to shout out to the marketing team for this as well. That's like creating this hype on what is the Matrix.com. Is that what it was? When you go in, you click the blue pill or you click the red pill, and you can see different. Essentially, what it was is coding that when you clicked in, it would show you a whole bunch of random clips, and if you clicked in on multiple different IPs or whatever, you could possibly get different images. Which is probably where you saw the bottle. I saw the bottle of the blue pills. It says 1 daily, don't exceed, and he's here like popping so many. I think that's going to be a big teller about how this trailer is going to work for the fans as well, because in those clips there was a lot of like fan servicey images that were basically fresh reboots of the first film, but with different people. Like there's definitely a shot of Trinity in the room, and she's about to like flip the fucking desk and shit, and it's gonna be awesome, but it's definitely not Carrie-Anne Moss. Like it's not Carrie-Anne Moss, and she's wearing a different outfit, like a slightly different outfit, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be interesting. And that's why I think it's a movie theory for me, because they're going to shoot this movie, but they'll have like different casts in it, like this Matrix movie that's making Neo think, oh, it's just a fantasy.
They're variants.
Yeah. Oh, and I do think as well
yes.
that Morpheus could potentially be in this is potentially a program, because in those clips on the internet, you see him almost being formed in the Matrix. Like you see like
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my god, he's
I'm
that program?
I'm
Or
gonna
he could be
take
the one.
I'm gonna take the stuff online with a grain of salt in the clips.
True.
Only
Yes, sir.
like the stuff in the trailer I'm gonna say is less misdirect. I only because it's hard to sort of like separate the, I don't know, are they fucking with you? Like when you click on the blue pill, are they fucking with you? You know what I'm saying?
That's
Versus
true.
when you click on the red pill.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past them here to lead us all down different
Makes
rabbit
even
holes
more
and do
creepy
what we're doing now,
yeah.
which is just completely speculating, which is great. But
Do you guys have a favorite like shot from the trailer at all? Like, is there one like favorite moment, or like
For
cinematography
me-
wise, color, whatever it is?
Yeah, the oh shit moment was when the agent comes out of the doorway and does like a backflip and the room reverses. It's very
It's a nice
Inception. Yeah, and then the next shot is her running down the hallway, and then she does like a backflip, a wall
good.
run to backflip. I was like, I'm in. Like to me, that's what made The Matrix for me when I watched it and blew my mind. Is those amazing fight scenes where like when Neo walks into that bank or the not the bank but
Yeah.
the lobby.
big building.
the lobby scene, and he just like got all the guns, and I mean, it's the stuff like that, and then he wall runs and then like knocks or kicks the shotgun and back into his arms, and he shoots.
So
I mean,
great.
all the choreography that was just so incredible and made you want to be in the Matrix. And if this movie doesn't make me want to be back in the Matrix, it failed, right? Like that's it. That's hard stop.
For me, I
That's
think it
fair.
was it's this very short clip of Neo in the rain kneeling and someone's got a gun in his face, because it's so reminiscent of the first film where they're about to save Morpheus from the agent and there's like the fire sprinklers going off. That for me, I was just like, "Wow, it is so nostalgic. I love this so much." Like I was like, "Yeah, okay, great." John,
I think that clip is that is Keanu's
Yeah, that's
awakening. That's actually Neo waking up to
PJ, was
what's
the
going
orgy
on.
scene?
Oh, true, Wayne.
No more cave orgies. No more cave rave orgies.
What you got against cave orgies, PJ?
I know, man.
Jeez,
And they were
man.
dressed. Never
in
been to a
those-
good
they-
cave.
No
and
invite,
they, and
no
they went
invite.
from no jackets
invite.
to tribal outfits. I was just like, what the fuck?
They've literally got nothing. The machines have destroyed the world. Like they've blotted out the sun,
they-
PJ.
So they collected all the clothes left over from Burning Man and brought them
Oh
into
my
the cave.
gosh.
That is essentially the machine's
you just
goal
need
is
to
to
do more drugs.
wipe out all the orgies.
In order to enjoy that scene.
True.
All right.
I think. Oh,
Oh, sorry.
I
What
gotta
was
go,
yours,
No, it's
boys
okay.
and girls.
Stephanie?
oh, no worries. I was just gonna say quickly, like I think my favorite shot, like seriously, like, was the elevator shot, and you've got the reflection, and you can see him looking up, and then my funny favorite shot is sad Keanu Reeves in a bathtub with the rubber
Totally.
ducky
Yeah.
on his head.
Yeah.
That was mine as well. Yeah.
So
That was my
good
favorite
one.
shot. And,
Yeah, there's a
and
lot of
also,
good shots.
and then the
I think
Bugs
it's
character
gonna be
jumping
smart.
off the
I think
thing.
I don't want to overhype it because
Listen.
I always want to go into with cautious optimism, but I'm excited.
That's what he
and
said about his
that-
marriage.
And,
It's working out
Yeah,
so
I think-
well.
is it? Is it?
Drew.
Oh, no. Am I in the Matrix?
You are the coding.
Wait. Did you take a blue pill this morning?
Yeah, I did.
Oh.
Oh,
But
I'm
it was
sorry.
for fiber. For fiber, the movement. Gosh.
Hot.
All right, boys and girls. I hate to talk and run, but I gotta get going. I
Crash
got
this
shit to
party.
do.
No worries.
We got to do it.
All right.
Let's end this thing.
Let's
Thanks,
go.
Wayne, for
Thanks,
joining us,
everybody,
buddy.
for watching.
Thank you, Wayne, for nerding out with
Appreciate
us. Oh, bye.
Always.
I'll leave you out with the outro. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.